All right, guys, welcome back. I am Jason, and this is
JJ.
We are talking about our favorite tools of each other's. My favorite tool of yours is this machete right here. I really like a machete, a thin-bladed machete like this that has a flexible blade. Slices through loose, hanging, viney stuff like butter. Super smooth, and I really enjoy using that. The long, extended reach of a machete allows you to get out there cutting through briars and stuff without getting your hands in it,
Amen.
which is really irritating. You got snakes in the ground, stuff. You want to push stuff out of the way.
Many snakes.
Yeah, super handy for that because it gives you a little bit of standoff distance. I can do all the fine carving tasks and stuff because I can choke up on it here. I can do the carving on small little trigger traps and all the little things. Make feather sticks with this as long as it's sharpened like this one is.
I'm glad you can appreciate this.
Yeah,
I
it's
put a
just
lot of work into this.
I really like this style of machete a lot. I would pick this over pretty much any other tool if I had the choice. It'd be a machete just like this one.
No, that's a good choice. I've used that machete for a long time, and I put a lot of work into it. So
from the jungles of the Amazon to Appalachia and beyond.
And today, too, like talking about one-tool options, people are always talking about the little itty-bitty bushcraft knives or whatever.
Yeah, I like small knives, too.
Yep.
But,
which, obviously, you have to overcome the deficiency of whatever tool it is that you're using.
Right.
But I know in my own past, and you can speak of yours or whatever, but this is what I grew up using growing up on a tree farm. Like, that was required gear to have on you. Yeah. And there was just so much that I could get, and I was used to using that my whole life. So for me, that was a one-tool option to have back in the day.
Yeah, when I was a kid, clearing brush and stuff in the yard and whatever, doing landscaping stuff around the house, when Dad sends me out to do the things.
Yep.
This is what I liked using, and this was really probably the most efficient tool for the job.
Absolutely. I think it still is today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some things like a chainsaw is better for, but the small, thin stuff, just the low, briars and brambles and stuff, a chainsaw is not a good tool.
No.
This is the thing that you want. Just clearing stuff around the house. This is the thing you want. Very versatile tool.
I think it's a good pick there that you chose. Yeah,
yep.
I dig it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's downsides to it because it's big. I mean, it's, like you mentioned, a small knife like this is easy to carry, and that's why we carry them all the time.
But you can't do the same work.
No. I can do everything with this that this can do. I can't do everything with this that this can do.
That's right. Yeah. It's overcoming the deficiency of the tool, and a lot of that speaks to experience, like your experience level. Like, how much have you done with, say, a machete? Like, say, gutting a fish.
You can do it.
For example, creating a bow drill set out of that.
All can be done.
Traps and triggers, like you were saying.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, definitely my favorite tool. If I was going to pick one, the rest of my life, I had to have a tool, and it was yours.
I would.
If I was going to steal something from you, I'd steal this.
It'd be my machete.
Yes, absolutely right. What would you steal from me?
I would undoubtedly have to go with a timeless classic, the Kukri that you've got right here. And I think that there's a lot to be said about a 2,500-year-old design that is still in production today. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's just amazing. I mean, this is still being produced. And there are some incredible stories with this. This is a functional blade to begin with. You've got a 4 design. It actually has 3 different heat treats on the blade as well, which gives it some flex. You can come back here on the back and use it for chopping tasks like you can a machete. You can get up on the blade. You can do really fine tasks with it.
Split firewood with it, baton through,
all
the stuff,
processing game. Everybody in India has one of these. You can use it as a draw knife.
It works really good for that, actually.
And this one is kind of a modern design. You've got the cutout here, so that you can strike a ferro rod.
Yep.
But on mine, the top of it has been, I've got a 90-degree spine on the top of mine. But if I had to steal any one particular tool, I'd have to go with this, just because I think there's something to be said about something that's been produced for that long.
For 2,500 years.
2,500 years. Yeah. Not to mention the fact that it also comes with a smaller blade. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds as well. And you can use the, iron sharpens iron, so you could actually use the other knife as a steel to sharpen the blade.
Yeah,
as well.
sometimes they came with 3 separate tools, right? So you got the Kukri, you've got one small little sharp knife, and then you got a dull knife.
The steel.
Yeah, that you use to actually sharpen, but sometimes it just comes with the
I
two.
kind of like this one though because I really like the grind that you have on this one. This one actually you paid some attention to,
Yeah.
and I like it because I can use it. It's a very usable knife, and I can still get my hand on the handle, which is a big deal to me.
Yeah.
Have you heard the story of the British Army, the Gurkha?
Tell us about it.
Before.
Tell us.
Yeah, so I can't remember what year it was. Y'all can look it up or whatever, but there was a civil war that was going on in India. And because the British Empire had an interest in the East India Trading Company, what they did was they sent down their best special forces of the time to check out to see what was going on. They needed to pick a side in the war, right? So they went ahead and they set up their camp and everything, and they had all their guys at their forward positions. And then the next morning when they woke up, all of the soldiers that were asleep had their heads cut off.
With this.
With that, with the
Something
Kukri.
like
Now,
this.
it was a lot
Little bit
longer,
bigger, yeah.
almost like a sword back then.
Yeah.
But you can imagine how scared those guys were, and they hightailed it back to the court, the high court, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you can imagine how
Yeah.
scared they were. It wasn't like they had cell phones or radios.
Right.
They couldn't mail it off, back
Yeah.
then or whatever. They actually hightailed it back because they were so scared
Terrified.
of what those Gurkhas had done. And you know what they told them when they got back?
What's that?
You're going straight back. You know why?
Why?
Because an enemy that is that formidable, we need to make friends with.
Yeah.
And
They are
so-
terrifying. We want them on our side.
Exactly. So they went back.
Yeah.
They made friends with them, and to this day, the Gurkhas still serve the British Army.
Yeah. That's a cool story.
cool of a story
Yeah,
is
it's a
that?
super cool story behind a blade designed for a warlike purpose.
So just because of the cool factor on that, because of the design of the blade itself, and what all I can do with it, I would have to pick that as my one tool option.
I would say that's a solid choice, sir. I have used both of these tools extensively. I've done all kinds of stuff with these tools. I've gone out on, several day missions to see what the capability of different tools and equipment is. And I would have to say, in my area where I live, I have found this to be more useful.
Yeah.
This, maybe a longer bladed
Yeah.
Kukri would be different, but because of just we're talking about these two right here, a machete just like this one and a Kukri just like this one.
He literally went into my stuff and got his favorite tool, and I went into his stuff and got my favorite
That's right.
tool.
Yeah, but because of the designs of these, the length is handy for a machete of this size. To me, I think it's handier.
100%.
The thinness of the blade is handy because it's effortless cutting through stuff.
Well, you've got the leverage associated with the length
this
as well.
and the speed. The longer the blade, the faster the end of the machete is going to be going, and it just cuts straight through stuff much more efficiently than this does, in my opinion, because this is a much heftier blade.
Now, that's a big part. Your experience comes into play there as well.
Absolutely.
Like, both of us could take either one of these tools
And make it work.
and make it happen.
Yeah, no question.
100%.
Yeah, you'd be happy to have either one of these for sure. But if I had to pick one, just because of my experience and where I live and the climate that I live in and the activities that I engage in, I find this to be more useful. Like splitting firewood and stuff like that, this would be better.
The bomb,
it's much
'cause
better.
You're not going to baton through firewood
Not nearly as well,
or even bone.
No, this is not, and as on that subject, this is a much heavier duty type tool. This is lighter. Even though it's bigger, it's lighter.
It's not going to fatigue you as
Yeah,
much.
so you can swing this all day long, and it's not going to wear you out nearly as much as something like this would. So there's that. And that's one of the reasons why I prefer a thin blade machete much more.
And what I got to say, too, is that I would be happy with either one of these.
Right.
I would be, if somebody handed me a tool today and said, this is your one tool that you have to use
the rest of your life.
for
That's
the
what
rest
you
of
get.
your entire life,
Yeah.
I would be happy that I got one of these.
Absolutely.
Because I think there's this whole romantic thing that we have going on today. Like, you're just going to take your belt knife and you're going to go out in the woods and you're going to survive for the rest of your life with just a knife.
Yeah, which is a romantic topic, and I enjoy that. Personally, I like going out into a wild place with very little options because it forces me to be creative and use my skills and learn new things.
Which you should always be practicing.
Yeah, and challenge me in new ways. I like that a lot. But to be honest with you, I'm never going to be out with just my one machete and just me and my machete out in
Well,
the wild.
emergency waits for no man.
Yeah, I mean,
never know. It
you
can
know,
happen.
I guess it could happen, but
It's not going to.
yeah, the possibility is slim. I'll probably have more than just my machete if I'm out there for some reason. But anyway,
they can keep making shows about it though.
that's exactly right.
And
yeah,
we can still keep the forums going and all the
Absolutely.
social media accounts and everything.
your one tool
The
option.
one tool option. So let us know in the comments, what is your favorite one tool option? Do us a favor, like, share, subscribe, and leave us a snide remark.
Very snide.
Very snide. Snide as you can make it.
Thanks.